Hello ladies and gentlemen, it's the patron list again. Thanks to Alan, Billy, Blizz, Brett, Caleb, Chan, Christoph, David, Edia, Eric, Gary, Joey, the other Joey, Christopher, Matthew, Miguel, Mathaldu, Raymond, Rodrigo, Sack Chief, and Z for their continued support. If you want to support me, my Patreon and PlayAsia affiliate links are in the description. Enjoy the video.
Welcome to Los Angeles, rookie. The city of angels. No angels here anymore, unless you count Angel Mendoza. Target moving south on Harvard. Angel runs a tattoo salon in Hollywood. He's a recon mutant with 6 hands. Angel gave me this. X1 Alpha, you got yourself a code 7. This is the L.A.P.D. Nice work, rookie. Now where was I? Oh yeah, Big L.A. Mutants, gangsters, chem-lords, whacked out cyborgs, high-tech, this and that. We got it. Remember, kid, serve, protect, survive.
X1 Alpha, 2 lane in progress. 14 officers down, need assistance. Code 77.
This is the L.A.P.D. Put down your... Thank you for your support.
That is one of the best PlayStation 1 era intro videos to a game, pretty much in general. Like, it still holds up today, which is legitimately really impressive. Like, it's obviously not a, top of the line cinematic cutscene from the PlayStation 4, but good lord, it gets the point across, it's entertaining, and it actually does look, like, relatively decent. Like, it hasn't aged that badly at all, especially with the way the mech moves. It's actually really nice. But anyway, hello ladies and gentlemen, this is Blue Maxima, and I'm here checking out the PlayStation 1 version of Future Cop L.A.P.D, which goes to the intro cutscene despite me pressing buttons. A little bit bizarre, but no problem. So, this game came out on the PlayStation, and I wanted to take a look at it because it was one of my favorites back in the day, and it also has a couple of neat things going for it, which I think are worth talking about, at least in the grand sense when it comes to game design. And it is a sort of mech-style shooter. It's not really a mech-style shooter, it's pretty arcadey, but you're running around in a mech. And you are working for the LAPD in the almost the 22nd century, which is kind of neat. So we can go and load our game here, and there are actually 2 completely different modes, which is actually a really cool idea. And the second mode in this game is actually the more memorable, which is why we're going to start with the campaign, because there doesn't really seem to be much point in doing it the other way around, because I don't want to be massively disappointed. So you can come here and change the controls. Notably, there's no DualShock support for this game, but the controls they've got here actually work just fine. They are mostly understandable, and the only extra control you have to worry about down the bottom there is the transform control, because walking, crouching, and doing a short jink, which is basically just strafing, really doesn't need to happen. You don't need to do any of that as far as I can tell anyway. Again, it's been a long while since I've played this game originally, so, that's a thing. So, we can save, and we can also grab a password, which is actually a pretty neat thing, so you don't need to worry about, like, picking it up on another computer and playing it again, so not that big a deal. And your options are all pretty basic stuff. You can modify some of the controls, but there's no modifying it via, like, making it so that the analog sticks can move and strafe you. You can do that if you're playing on emulator, but it takes a little bit extra effort, and I figured I'd play the game with the original set of controls, which honestly aren't too bad. Like, it is a bit tanky, but you've got strafe, and all your other buttons are within easy reach. It's really not a bad control scheme at all for a bloody PC, for a PS1 port of a PC game from I think this was in 2000 or so, but either way. And before anybody asks, this is being played via BizHawk's implementation of Mednafen's PlayStation 1 core. So, yeah, that's a thing. So, we might as well just go and hop straight in. We can select a zone. We can actually play levels that we've already finished, I think, but we're not going to do that. We're going to play Venice Beach.
Central to X1 Alpha. You know about the turf war in Venice Beach. Well, here's a switch. Big Vic Tatuna wants our help. He's looking for L.A.P.D. to referee a powwow with the other clans. The department is sending you in. Big Vic and his clan can't be trusted. Bunch of psychotic, muscle-bound, steroid-popping, roller-slashing gangsta cases. The powwow is on the pier at Big Vic's casino. That's your destination. If this clam bake turns sour, reel in Big Vic. In a sea of sharks, he's the catch of the day.
So yeah, you get little briefing videos like that which tell you what to do, but the game is actually really generous with its objectives and stuff. You mainly need to worry about going to the green glowing point on the map and doing whatever needs to be done there, which is usually obvious once you get there. So we've got a few things that we can do here, which is kind of neat. You can actually change your weapon into whatever you your weapons into whatever you want them to be. And you unlock them as you go throughout the campaign for the most part. In the other game mode, you actually have them all unlocked by default, but still, if you have a bunch of weapons that you like, you can stick to them and there's no real penalty, which is actually pretty cool. So, we're just going to go with this set of weapons here, which is actually pretty close to the set of weapons you start the game with, but the concussion being you unlock on, like, the second mission. But other than that, here we are. So, this is Futurecom. It is a shooter, more or less. That is pretty much the long and the short of it. I'm currently in the hoverbike mode for some reason. You don't usually start out in this mode, but whatever, I'll take it. So, your basic controls are really simple. Up, down, left, and right on the D-pad will move you around, but it's moving forward, moving backwards, turning left, and turning right. Strafing is done via L2 and R2, and I'm not against this. I'm really not. It's actually a pretty neat little thing. Well, it's not a pretty neat little thing, but it's a neat set of controls, and I don't mind them anywhere near as much as you might think. They're still relatively comfortable to use, even though you might need to get used to, just strafing on the shoulder buttons, but seriously, you can get there within a couple of minutes, and the enemies in this game are forgiving, and you've got a pretty long life bar that's relatively easy to restore, so I'm not complaining too much about this in the slightest. So, you have 3 weapons, as I demonstrated before. Oh, your action button's also on L1, by the way, and this is relatively important to remember, because there's a lot of stuff in this game to interact with. But yeah, your action button's on L1, and you've got 3 main weapons. You have your minigun-style weapon on square, your missile-style weapon on X, and your kill everything in sight weapon on circle. In this case, it's the mortar launcher. Good night. And these weapons are actually pretty satisfying to use. You have an automatic lock on, as you can see, with the little green square with the edges missing there. And you can use the lock on to get onto the nearest person, but if you want to swap targets, you can swap targets using the R1 button. So if I swap targets now, it locks me onto the guy in the sky, and I blew him up off screen. The game's sound design is actually fantastic for letting you know when you've successfully beaten the crap out of someone, so I will give them points for that. So we can transform into mech mode here, but it seems like there's not going to be that much use for it, mainly because we're going to have to get back in the water soon, and it looks like that it's requiring me to do just that. And I'll just hit the action button there just to see what that actually does. Gives me a little bridge here by the looks of it. Might as well head across. Oh, turret, there we go. You have a jump button on triangle, which will let you scale surfaces like this, which is a nice little trick. And as you can see on the radar in the top left, it actually maps out the switches you need to hit, which is a really nice thing, because admittedly the camera in this game can be one of its biggest issues. It can make it hard to see exactly where you need to go and what you need to do. But thankfully, you can also hit the select button to change the camera at any time. It'll swap cameras if it can determine that the camera that you're using right now isn't actually particularly good for the situation that you're in. But other than that, you'll usually be fine, which is pretty neat. Like, it's got relatively smart game design, which I approve of. There's a health pickup over there. We also picked up a weapon pickup, which was in this case a power-up for my guns, and it's made my guns more powerful. That's the general rule of thumb. If you get a weapon upgrade, it'll let you use a more powerful version of that weapon, but it'll limit the ammo. As far as I can tell, you can't actually rearm your main gun supply. you can only rearm your missiles and your third weapon. In this case, it's the mortar launcher, which is a little bizarre, but nothing too dangerous. You get a ton of ammo to work with at the start, and by the time you start running out, you usually run into a couple of pickups anyway, so it's not that big a deal. Right, this gate's open now. Let's go in. You know, we'll swap to this for the extra maneuverability. So, yeah, the actual shooting action, fun as hell. With the 3 different weapons, it doesn't get particularly repetitive, just wandering into an area and just spamming the fire the guns button all day. Doesn't work all the time. You do need to be a bit maneuverable, especially when you get to the big boss fights, because there are boss fights in this game, and the last one was literally a tentacle monster. I'm not even joking. It looked like something out of a Sheepo hentai. It was amazing. But yeah, you get big boss fights in this game, and there are often setups of enemies that are actually relatively dangerous. Like, you need to be actively trying to avoid them in order to live through the combat. So, you know, that's actually pretty good. Like, I'm not going to argue with that in the slightest. The combat is enjoyable, and everything explodes or bursts into violet chunks in entirely reasonable and enjoyable ways. So, you know, 10 out of 10. I think I need to be the bike to get over this, because it gets more speed. I'll just back up a little bit and do it from here. No, hang on, just a little bit more speed then. Come on, that's got to be the way across. Nope, I hit the brake. Yes, you do actually have the jump button is actually the brake button in the holobike mode. There we go. I had a feeling that was the way. We've got to pick up over here. We might as well go get it. Screw you, missile turret. Okay, some powerful missiles. Cool. Oh, and a dead dude down there. R.I.P. dead dude. Sometimes you get little extra objectives, but as far as I can tell, failing them doesn't really penalize you in any way. It just, you know, it just means you didn't manage to pull it off. One of them is in the second mission, I believe. You have to escort some police officers to a, what appears to be like a holding cell for people safely. So what's up there? That is a health pickup. I don't actually need that right now, so I can avoid that for the time being. Nice. The levels are big, and they can admittedly be kind of hard to navigate. They actually kind of rely on it. The third stage with the hentai tentacle monster does actually have a big maze that you need to go through in order to successfully reach the end. Thankfully, there is something you can do about that. You do actually have a map, and the map will actually tell you where all the pickups you've got and where all the pickups you don't have yet, I should say, are. And it will also tell you the location of the next objective, which is practically right next to me at this point. So we can just go and have a quick look at that, while trying to avoid getting the shit shot out of me.
We need to get through that opening. It's too high to jump.
And that is a good thing. That is good. It's a good map, actually. Like, I'm not even being sarcastic. It's a pretty decent map. It's a top-down view, and it makes almost perfect sense. You do have a little bit of trouble working your way around because you don't have a height map to work with, in the sense that, you know, you need it to whoop. Can I shoot this? I can indeed shoot this. Cool. And this has opened up switches for me to go press. Cool. Fair enough. How do I get in there? Back the way I came. All good. The levels are never intensely complicated, though. As far as I can tell, there's not that much in the way of backtracking, and when you do need to backtrack, it'll be obvious. Like, I'm mentioning the hentai tentacle demon level again, but it comes up a lot for some reason. In that level, the most backtracking you had to do was to a little windmill thing that didn't move previously, but when you unlock the windmill and actually make a move so that you can get to the area it's protecting, you end up in the position where you can see it moving, and you can immediately go, I need to back up and go through the windmill. So it's mainly just little shit like that. Nothing particularly complicated. So it's more or less just moving and shooting, more or less. It's the most complicated part of the game, and it's good stuff. I'm enjoying it quite a bit. Can I get in here? Like, I don't think I can get up. Yeah, I don't think I'll be able to get up something that high with that little room. So, where's the map taking me? Okay, fair enough. We'll go into the bike mode to make this a little bit faster. It actually looks pretty good too. Can I not get through that? It's a little bizarre. Okay, I'll just work my way back around here then. Okay. Guess I am taking the long way around. Can't get through that, but that's okay. We can just work our way back around. No big deal. You can go to hell. Oh man, just one shot of the most powerful heavy weapon of the powered up heavy weapon is enough to blow the crap out of everything. And it's so satisfying when you can do that. No, can't go that way either. I need to get back up onto that slope. I've got good amount of speed now. That's going to help me. God damn it. Damn it, how did I get up on there before? I guess I'll have to jump it. Whee! There we go. Let's go. I am playing on normal difficulty, and there are 2 others that you can choose at the beginning of the game, which is nice. Gives you a little bit of extra replay value. Can't get through there because it's fenced off. Can't get through there because it's fenced off. Cool. Need to work my way up onto that. There are actually like little audible clips that you can hear, but since I don't have my sound working right now, I can't actually. I assume if I bump into instant death? God damn. That's actually kind of... That's punishing for this game. And I'm right back at the start of the level. Shit. Not great.
This deal smells fishy from the get-go.
Oh well. We know what we're doing, we can do it again. It's funny, not much in this game instantly kills you. Like, that is actually a legit surprise. Something that just instantly ends me. That doesn't happen very often at all. It's a, you know, nice change from a lot of games like this that I've played in the past.
Hey man, that's illegal entry.
I mean, it's pretty obviously don't touch this barrier, so I have no one to blame but myself. Yeah, the switches are back up here, which means I need to circle around. Go 1 foot for the extra control. Switch.
Sensors show another switch in your vicinity.
Jump. Come on, up you go. Up you go. No, I can still hit it from here, can't I? There we go. Hit that, drop down, hit that, and that must be through the door again.
Now door is opening.
Simple!
You've got to cross the electro bridge. Sensors show a switch in your area.
Yeah, good shit. That is basically all I've got to say about the game's campaign mode. It's good shit. It's not... It's definitely not amazing, but it's got decent level design. It runs well enough, actually. I haven't noticed much in the way of slowdown in this at all, which is a nice thing for a three-dimensional PlayStation game with this much stuff going on at once. Not very often you see that. I mean, there is slowdown, but it's nothing that isn't particularly, you know, deal-withable, to use an absolutely terrible phrase. Oh, God, really? Come on. Booster! There we go.
We don't recognize your authority.
Right, now we're back to where we were before. Except I've got to go and do those switches down the other end of this.
Now you're trespassing on private property.
Shut down that
There
electro
was
fence.
one there,
Watch out.
and
You need to get
The other
through
one
that
was
opening,
around back
too
this
high
way.
to jump. There should be another switch. Check your radar.
You can have a lot of stuff shooting at you at once, which is why I say that it's not pants on head retarded easy. It absolutely is not. Your health can actually disappear pretty quick if you're not careful. There are parts of the game where you can't walk around on the floor without getting your health wiped out, which can totally be a pain in the ass to deal with. So if I activate this, is that actually... Yeah, okay, so I have to go that way. Right, I didn't see that. They do leave it on camera, sometimes I'm just too stupid and don't notice. Right, shoot that. Oh, I don't have to go that way, it just lets me get a free power up. That's also reasonable. What is it? Health. I'll take it. Nothing wrong with a free health pickup. Right. So this is how you get up here, right? Missiles aren't actually hitting the door, there we go. Alright, background and up the outside. Shoot that on the way out. Yeah, that transform sequence looks cool too. Music's pretty great. Like, it had some great music in the intro video, but it still sounds pretty good as well, especially when you're beating the crap out of everyone with all these damn weapons. Also, they're all like numbers with 0 on the end. How did I do that? That's not very... That's very satisfying, actually. 5700, 5030. Alright.
Mayday, mayday.
There's apparently an armed robbery going on.
Mangrove under attack. Save us, please.
Go on, down you go. There we go. You two alright? Yeah, you'll be fine. Crowd control! Yes, this is the best part. Here come all the dudes, and you can just eliminate them. Let's try not to eliminate the bloody guys. This comes up more than once, and this game does have flamethrowers. I didn't actually equip the flamethrower because I prefer the machine guns, but yes. Just stand here and just never let go of the fire button. Infinitely satisfying. And look, even down on this little scale here, like, I know that guy isn't the most detailed dude you've ever seen running around for his life, but I like it. What did I get? Free special weapon upgrade. I will accept. It turns mortars into multi-mortars. Yes. There is no one who can disagree with this being a good idea. Alright, let's waltz on up here. Do a little bit of silly 3D platforming. Strafe right. Now, where does it want me to go? Well, that's an elevator down there with a free pickup, and why would I pass up a free pickup? Also, I managed to activate the elevator at the same time. Sweet. Free superpowered missiles and a kablooey! Look at that. Just use the guns to take the middle. Don't want to waste too many of my super missiles and super mortars. I'll probably get rid of those tanks though. Probably shouldn't have wasted that. Thankfully, you can't get damaged by your own weapons. This game would be a nightmare if you could. Back to the hover car. Where do you want me to go? I assume just to the... Yep, just to the right there. I assume there's a gate I need to get through. Indeed there is. And I assume there's switches around the place I need to hit. Judging by the multiple things going on there, yes there is. So I just need to find my way onto this little island. Those look like landmines. I don't think I'm going to be able to get up on there the usual, just boosting and hoping for the best way. So I'm assuming there's something else I need to do on another island, maybe? Maybe I need to have a look around there up top and see what I can find.
Gotta drop that barrier
That is a lot of instant kill barriers. I should be careful. Yep, there's one of our switches. Okay. So I am definitely going the right way. I just need to find a way onto this island here. Without getting hurt too much. Missed the missile, but I got that one. Gotta be allowing the silence somehow. Maybe if I just hit it at full speed. No, that won't be enough. Right. How do I get on that island? I assume it's here. They wouldn't put mines in the way if it wasn't important, right? That's a bridge. So I'm assuming that bridge has something to do with our way on. Back to regular old dude. Jump.
You want to cross the bridge.
Now I'm assuming there's a switch here I need to hit. Yep, there's the switch. Hit that. There we go. Oh! Oh! Oh, that's bad. Right, let's pretend that just didn't happen. Can I shoot this? No, apparently not. Can't summon it either. That's not great. There's got to be a way on this somehow. So apparently there was a thing down here that I didn't get. Let's go grab it. It's
That's a special weapon.
more mortars. No reason not to have them, I suppose. I gotta be missing something. Question is what? Maybe I needed to actually navigate by being on those catwalks up there. Yeah. Right. Elevator. Damn it. God sake, come on. Right, now we wait very patiently for it to be at the very top. There we go. Should have known that elevator would have something to do with it. So, I can't get up here. God damn it. Let's just have a quick look over there. That's where I came from. I take it nothing here that's... Nothing particularly interesting here, I should say. Free pickup, I suppose. More missiles?
That's a heavy weapon power-up.
This kind of looks like something that's important. Let's have a squiz. Just trying to stay out of the way of this guy so I can wipe the floor with him like that. Can I shoot these mines? No, I can't. Let's just go through them. Nothing there. Nothing there either. Okay, I admit I'm kind of lost. Well, I'm not lost, I just don't know where to bloody go next. There is a button up there. Question is, how do I get up there in the first place? There's a ramp in there, but how do I get through those walls? I just scraped into a line, fantastic. I'm guessing that I have to find my way through the actual area here before it'll let me onto that. I'm guessing that's the final part of the level. Screwed up that. Up the ramp, thank you. And god damn it, why? Can I hop onto this wall? Try not to jump over it. Christ. And I'm about to die again, so there's really no point. Let's just, yeah, let's just call that one a wash and head back and check out the other game mode because, well, if I fumble around here incompetently any longer, it's going to be quite annoying for you. So we'll just quit out. And we will go and load up the other game mode, which is Precinct Assault. Now this game mode is particularly interesting, mainly because it actually has something cool going on about it. It reminds me a lot of a game called Herzog's Y, which I haven't personally played, but I've seen videos of. It's a little bit of a tactical style of game, actually, which is kind of neat. So if we select a level and just go through again... Actually, no. While my mind's on it, let's actually play the briefing.
This is Precinct Assault. You begin inside your base. You know where the action button is, right? You'll need it. Each base has a hover tank generator. Action button. Hover tanks will seek out the enemy base. When one of your hover tanks enters the enemy base, you win. Sounds simple? I don't think so! You can generate jet choppers to protect your base from the air. These base turrets are your last line of defense. Any neutral turrets are up for grabs. Use the action button to claim them. This is an outpost. Claim it, and you've got another base. But outposts cost points. Earn points by claiming turrets and destroying enemy units. Destroy the enemy walker, earn points, and send him back to his base crying like a baby. Remember? Hover tanks, turrets, points, crying. Beautiful. Now, if you're playing by yourself, you'll go up against Sky Captain, a lethal combination of smarts and firepower. This cybernetic genius can do everything you can do and more. He's got his own reloaders and can link with his base to generate units remotely. And every time you beat Sky Captain, he gets a little tougher. Oh, about the radar. The red arrow points to the red base, the blue one towards the blue base. Whoopee. So, get one of your hover tanks into the enemy base before the other guy gets to yours. Good luck.
That's pretty much it. That is admittedly one of the best tutorial videos for a game I have ever seen. Like, it is succinct, it is enjoyable, it is legitimately funny, and it tells you absolutely everything you need to know. I enjoy it quite a bit. One of the best... Oh, damn it. One of the best FMVs for something like this imaginable. And yes, we are playing on Venice Beach, which is a level based off the campaign level we were just playing. So, in case you weren't bothering to listen to that guy, it's basically a sort of strategy hybrid with the actual shooting. So, you wander around, you do things like defeat the enemy's turrets, capture your own turrets, try and keep their tanks from getting into your base, and moving your tanks into their base. And he has done just that. He has spawned a bunch of tanks, which I can see, because you can see the unit counters up in the top right there. So let's actually go back to our base and try and shore up our defenses. Because we will need to do that very shortly. Thankfully, you can see where your base is and their base is, so it's not particularly easy to get lost. Although it's entirely possible. I just wanted to go and build up a few turrets and a few points before we go and spawn our defensive forces, because we are going to need a lot of defensive forces. I am carrying around some different weapons in this game as well. This is definitely a different set of weaponry that I was using from the video of the campaign that we were just doing. So you can see all my little helicopters flying around on the radar there. So let's actually go and beat the crap out of some dudes, huh? So we can blow turrets up. They don't respawn immediately, which kind of sucks, because that means you have to come back for them later. Otherwise, the Sky Captain will get his hands on them, and then you might as well have not destroyed them at all outside of the points. But there you go. And he can be running around as well, and he can definitely run into you and cause some trouble. So you definitely want to be somewhat careful about running into the Sky Captain, because he is definitely strong, and, well, basically everybody here is nice and capable of just wiping the floor with you in a couple of shots. It's not something that, it's not like the main game where it takes a fair few shots to kill you. You can die within a few seconds in this mode. Thankfully you respawn, but it's just worth noting that, yeah, they can and they will kill you if they get the chance, so you do not want to be wasting too much time. Thankfully games of this are actually pretty short. You've got lots of, there's lots of action going on, and you're constantly going to be want to be spawning things like tanks and stuff, because you will want to be killing them off as fast as humanly possible. Because if they get tanks into your base, you are done. That is just a thing. Tanks can also do things like take over other turrets and stuff for you, which is a nice little bonus for, you know, getting a good tank colony going. I've got a lot of points now, so I can go buy an outpost, which I'm probably going to do. I think that's the Sky Captain. That is indeed the Sky... No, oh no, it's just a regular old defensive drone thingy. And of course, both modes in this game can be played cooperatively, or competitively, depending on how you think about it. Which is a shame, but not at the fault of this game, but at the fault of the people who make the PlayStation Classic, because this would be perfect for it. Two modes that both have co-op and competitive play. Not to mention a decent single-player campaign, and it's not even that harshly licensed. I mean, it's an original Electronic Arts published game from the early 2000s, so it's not like there would have been much in the way of licensing issues to get it in. So you can spawn super units if you've got 50 points as well, and the super units are really hard to kill. So it's worth going and doing that if you've got the points spare. We're actually gonna... Let's walk with him, actually. Where is he gonna go? He's actually gonna go out the right gate for some reason. It'd be nice if you could see where they were going. But yes. I have more than enough aerial units here to take care of my stuff for me, so we can just leave these guys to take care of business while I guide the super tank. Because the super tank is probably my best chance of getting into the enemy's base undestroyed, more or less. As long as I destroy all the turrets along the way, he stands a good chance of making it through. And it also gets me points in the meantime, so no one's gonna complain about that. Although it looks like my aerial forces are not doing so well. I might actually want to go and restock them. He'll be fine. He can make do on his own. Although if he gets destroyed, let's get some tanks rolling in and more planes. Oh, more helicopters, I should say.
My duties.
Let's just haul our ass back towards where the super tank should be at this point. Can I even see where he is on the map? I don't think I can. Oh, I can. He's over there. And it looks like he's having a hard fight with something. I think we lost him. That's unfortunate. Apparently I won! Okay, sure. I didn't expect that to be a thing. But we'll press select equipment, we'll go play one more game. So we'll select a zone. Apparently the tank must have made it through. We'll play on the Hollywood Keys. As the AI will be a little bit easier on this one because the AI gets a little bit more difficult every time you beat it. Which is nice, because it means you can just find a place that you like and just like stop there. Just that works. Spawn some aerial defenses and we'll go have a bit of a look around. Apparently this area is entirely based on the sea, which is not the worst thing in the world, because it still looks nice. Yeah, this mode is actually pretty satisfying to play. There's even hidden stuff, like this thing up here. This actually makes you more powerful, I believe. Or invincible. Something like that. Turret for me, and turret for me, and turret for me. You can see that he hasn't even started spawning tanks yet, so he's not that big of a threat. Gives me plenty of time to wander around and just make sure that my defenses are up to snuff. Thankfully, you can grab turrets from a long way away, which definitely helps that process. And grab some extra special ammo while I'm at it too. It's so disappointing this didn't show up on the PlayStation Classic, because it would fit that thing perfectly with the two-player split-screen mode and the high emphasis on action, and a game that not many people would remember, but one could probably call like it's at least a game that's worthy of being on the system. You can absolutely say that.
I live again.
My mother's got the farting Santa out. That's not great. I can just barely hear it in the background. That's never a good thing. Let's go spawn some tanks. And take out some of his in the process. I can just wander on back here. To my base. That's not the way in. That's the way in. Cool. We will spawn some aerial defenses. And then use the rest of the points to max out my tank army. And we will be able to guide them through. And they look kind of like pod races. Slightly, somewhat. So let's go and beat the crap out of everything that might get in their way.
Yes.
Grab that, grab that. There's the Sky Captain. Should probably kill him, it's worth 10 points. There we go. What else? Turrets and tanks.
Live again.
Not a big deal. He's got some aerial defenses going. We want to save his home base's turrets for last, mainly because they have the annoying tendency to regen really quickly. So you don't want to go blowing them up too far ahead of time. And unfortunately, I just got killed, and that means he gets 10 free points.
Going to leave a nasty little mark.
The tanks are moving rather slowly. I could get an outpost closer to his base, and that would actually help with the... That would help with the efforts. That would help with the war effort, because it means that they'd have to go less distance, and therefore they would spend less time exposed to enemy fire, but, well, I'm lazy, and we got plenty of tanks going on up here already. Let's just go and beat the crap out of these turrets so that they don't get too smarmy without trying to beat the crap out of my poor little dudes. One. Two. Three. My tanks are all dead anyway. I don't think that... Yeah, and they've got like some extra forces going out that way. Let's go buy an outpost closer to the enemy base. Which one would be the closest? So there's their base. So it would be the one to the north of them. Because I got the points, and since I got the points, I can also take advantage of those points to make an army pretty much straight away. So, yeah, here we are. Grab that. All the turrets immediately become mine, which is a nice benefit.
That will help you.
And we'll just spawn in a bunch of tanks. The AI in this game is actually pretty good on the later levels as far as I can remember. Honestly, I played this mode a lot more than I did the actual campaign mode, just because the skirmishing with the AI was that fun. I just play on the training stage. The training stage is just a simple, like, symmetrical sort of arena, but it still works really well as a thing, and I still quite enjoy that stage. Although these other stages definitely have their benefits in terms of, you know, different layouts, different... I got 3 tanks coming in, all their base turrets are down. Yeah, he's done. Yeah, easy. They made it in just barely, so that works. So yeah, that was a look at Future Cop L.A.P.D. It has... You haven't saved or look at the password. That is... I appreciate that. That is really nice. That is a cool feature. So that was a look at Future Cop L.A.P.D. It's got a fun shoot-'em-up campaign. It's got a great strategy action hybrid. It's got 2-player cooperative and competitive modes. And it looks good, it sounds good, it's aged pretty damn well, and it's still fun to play. And I like it a lot. So, yeah, it's really good if you can get your hands on and give it a shot. Seems like the only way you'd be able to do that these days is find... I think there's a PC version up on GOG, but I'm playing the PlayStation 1 here because that's the one I'm familiar with. But still, really good game, highly recommended. This has been Blue Maxima, and I will see you all next time.